Like Nidhi said, 2014 was the right time to start. And now I think after 2021 is right now. For all of us, we had a bulb on moment. Oh my God, Quora is also as important. Imagine if we discovered this platform 2 years later or 2 years later than that. Hey guys, this is AskAviArya, father of 2 girls, 6 dogs, husband to a superwoman, a streetcar racer turned hotelier, now social media marketer and founder of Internet Moguls. Welcome to my channel. Welcome, Nidhi.
Oh, hi. Hello, everyone.
Guys, can we all give a
It,
big Internet Moguls welcome to Nidhi in the comment box, please?
Hello, everyone. I hope everyone is doing fine. I realize that everyone is coming from different parts of world, and like we said, that we all are sailing in different. In fact, actually, I heard the different side of story of the same message that we received, which was actually other way around. But the version that you shared is much nicer. It was that we all are going through one storm, but sadly, we are in different boats.
Wow. Wow.
But what you said is so powerful because because the message that you received, or maybe you interpreted it in a way that it sounds really so powerful that we all are in different boats, but we happen to be in the same storm, and that unites us.
Right.
The flipping of words makes it so much more compassionate and in a way positive, I think.
Yeah, and both perspectives are so powerful. What you said was so amazing that we're sadly in different boats, and some people are so comfortable, and the other people are dying. It's just like that. There are some people who are
Yeah,
very comfortable with lots of money and everything taken care of, and other people are dying. I mean, it's not fair,
yeah, yeah.
And they
And
are they are talking about. I'm very glad that the world is talking about. I don't know when it's going to happen, but the world is talking about equal, at least a minimum basic lifestyle for everyone. They say that what happens to people who don't work and are lazy and all of that. I don't know. Uska dekha jayega, but at least everybody should have a basic roof over their heads to go back home to have a nice warm meal. I think everybody deserves that. I mean, how can one
absolutely.
person say that I have so much that I can waste and I don't feel like, like people in many households, the kids are like, I don't feel like eating this, and the mother will make 10 other things. And then there are people who have nothing but just one choice of type of food to eat. Anyway, I hope, I,
No,
I,
I
I
absolutely agree, and I feel you that you share the same compassion.
yeah,
Sadly, in fact, we are not even talking about some people. That some boats are not even talked about,
sure.
especially in India. Some sect of people, some people who are actually invisible because they can't really afford anything. And
Mm.
anyways, I think we are drifting from the
Yes.
topic. I don't really want to hijack the conversation and make it
No,
about
not at
something
all. Not
else.
at all. Not at all.
You me
Nidhi,
that
thank you very
freedom.
much. I always start the conversation whenever I bring in a guest. We always say, my dad always says the most expensive thing you can ask from people is not their time, but it's not their money, but it's their time. So during these crazy times in the middle of the night, thank you for taking time out for this community.
Absolutely, it's pleasure.
Awesome. So Nidhi, we wanted to start with I always say, hero introduction. I'm going to give you my hero introduction, and then I'll request you to give the hero introduction to everybody in the community.
Sure.
Alrighty. So, Nidhi, my name is Avi Arya, father of 2 girls, 6 dogs, husband to a superwoman, a streetcar racer, turned hotelier, now social media marketer and founder of Internet Moguls. Over to you, Nidhi Singh.
Yeah, that's a great elevator speech. So, hello everyone. This is Nidhi Singh, a small town girl who came 10 years ago to Mumbai, city of dreams, and I'm a marketer for last over a decade, I guess. I'm a two times Quora top writer, and that's why we are doing this session. I am internationally published in magazines like Inc, HuffPost. I am big on community. I really feel that that real connection comes through community and cultivating that community and trying to build that real connection. And on the journey, I have also built a personal brand around it. That's about it.
Lovely. So, Nidhi, so we have entrepreneurs here from travel to hospitality, and then we have people from coaching, consulting, we have teachers. we have spiritual sort of personal development experts, so people from all
Wow.
walks of life. So for all the entrepreneurs, I want to ask a question on behalf of all the entrepreneurs. How does one get started on a journey of on Quora, and why?
Yeah, actually, that's a really nice question, and I will take a step back and start talking about why build a personal brand. I
Sure.
think two steps down the line, somewhere comes a platform which is Quora.
Okay,
Okay,
perfect.
so I have listed some questions that I often get asked.
Right.
Why personal brand? Why do I need a personal brand? I'm not an entrepreneur. I am not a digital marketer. Why do I need a personal brand? So the question is, whether you are consciously building or not, you already have a personal brand. If you step out of a room and people start talking about you, the things that they are talking, or the opinion that they have about you, is your personal brand.
Hmm.
So if there is a need and people think about you, that you are the person they're coming in their mind, then that means that's your personal brand, that you are a person who is resourceful, who will help them out.
Sure.
So whether you want it or not, your personal brand already exists. And
Hmm.
especially in today's world, whether you're trying to get hired, you're trying to get a date, you are meeting a partner for your business, each and every one is going to look online for your personal brand. They will try to consume as much as information possible around you. So uh, the point being that whether you want or whether you like it or not, your personal brand already exists.
Hmm.
So that's the underlying point why you should have a personal brand. After that comes another point: how do you build a personal brand?
Right.
There are today, and like Avi, you asked why how to get started with Quora, or why Quora. um so a platform, let me step back again. you know uh, how you should go about building a personal brand. There are umpteen number of platforms today. You have Instagram, you have Quora, you have Facebook, you have platforms where you can do podcasting. So you should start from a platform where you are most comfortable with. Like if you are a visual person, you should go and build your personal brand on Instagram. If you are someone who is really comfortable speaking on the video, then YouTube is a platform that you should go about. If you're a person who is really into long form of content, then Quora maybe is a platform that you should start with. And when we are talking about starting with one platform, what we essentially mean is, um, first let's build our personal brand on one platform and then diversify to other platforms. I think Avi would agree that you might have at some point started with one platform and then you
Sure.
might have started diversification. I
Right.
think that's how brands do it. Like Amazon started by selling books and then diversified into other products. So the idea is to have authority and strength in one platform and then diversify into other platforms. And I'll actually quickly walk the folks here through my Quora profile, and I'll talk a little bit about the platform
Sure.
first, and then we'll talk about.
No, you want to share a screen or something?
Yes.
Yeah. Alrighty.
Can you see?
100%.
Sure. All right. So I'll quickly talk about Quora as a platform. Quora as a platform is a platform which gives you capability to get indexed on search, right? Unlike other platform, unlike Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, these are the platforms. They are closed platforms and they don't give you SEO benefit, right? However, platforms like YouTube, Medium, Quora, these are platforms that give you search capabilities, which means if you're producing content on these platforms, you will get discovered through Google search. And
Mm.
today, a lot of content from Quora gets discovered via Google search. And that's why they are able to monetize the platform better. That's why people who have personal brand on Quora are getting discovered outside the platform. I know so many real life stories where people have, in fact, I'll come back to my own personal story, but my husband and I, we met through Quora, and
Wow.
my husband has received 3 TEDx talks via Quora.
Fantastic.
So
Three TEDx talks through Quora.
3 TEDx talks. I mean, the first happened because of Quora, and I give a little bit of attribution to each after that to Quora, because of
Of
course
course.
one leads to the other one. So yeah, Quora is a very powerful platform. In fact, I'll start talking a little bit about Quora. If you can see my profile, let me walk you through the profile first. So this is the bio. Like any other platform, you see the bio. And then here on, if you can see my screen, you can see
Yeah,
on
yeah.
the right side, these are the things that you have achieved. You can mention the achievements. Some of these achievements are native to the platform. For instance, I have received, so Quora is a multi-language platform, which means you have Quora Hindi, Tamil, you have Spanish, you have Quora in different languages. This is my English profile. Similarly, I have a Hindi as well as a Spanish Quora profile. So these are my native content views. I have received about
Wow.
4.1 million content views. I don't say that this is a huge number. It is not a huge number, but considering I have written only 500 answers, this is still a huge number. And even though I'm not actively writing a lot of answers these days because I'm focusing personally on YouTube to build my brand, but still I'm getting about 30,000 monthly views on my content. At one point in time, Quora used to recognize writers who were doing great work in a specific field, which in my case was digital marketing. So I happen to be a 2 times Quora top writer, which means that I am a source of authority in the domain that I write about.
Right.
And then via Quora, I also got published in international magazines like Inc and Huffpost. Now, how does that happen? I happen to write my experience of visiting a restaurant and experiencing the brand. And and that personal story. It's not an article that talks about Coca-Cola or just any brand. It's an answer that talks about my personal experience, and then I am connecting it to brand Coca-Cola.
Got it.
Now, the important point to note here is to whenever you're trying to build a personal brand, it is extremely important that you understand what is the platform meant for. For example, if you're on Instagram, you need to do visual storytelling. If you're just posting random stories, you might get a lot of likes from your personal family and friends, but it will not create an impactful brand.
Sure.
Similarly, on Quora, the main um, talking point of Quora is bringing personal stories to the audience who is coming on Quora. So that's why this article is not a generic article that you can find on any blog. It talks about my personal experience and then powerfully communicates um, the point that I'm trying to make around psychological marketing tactics. So then I wrote about this personal experience, and this got published uh, by several international magazines, including Inc and HuffPost. And then similarly, I posted something around my experience of working in a startup. I worked for a startup for more than 6 years, and I wrote my personal experience around working in a startup. And that article got published uh, by a lot of other magazines. So this is about published section, and then we move on to spaces. So Quora included in, Quora introduced something called as spaces, which is very similar to Facebook groups. Um, spaces is again a form of community where you can, Just like a Facebook group, you can create a space. The only difference is Facebook group does not have search discoverability. However, spaces uh, in the way forward are going to have huge search discoverability. And Facebook groups you cannot monetize. However, you can actually in future you can monetize Facebook group. Quora spaces, they have already started with beta, which means if you have a Quora space and you have a lot of engagement happening on that Quora space, you will be able to monetize it.
That's very interesting.
Yeah. And I actually joined Quora in the year of 2014. I became first time I became Quora top writer in 2016 and then in 2018. And as I said, I have written 125 answers on
So you
Spanish, 27
Spanish?
answers. Yeah, I was a beta user. So because I became a top writer, I I was privileged to beta test a lot of features that Quora came up with. And when Quora launched Quora for native languages, I got to test
No, so
different
that
languages.
but that means you can write in all of these languages.
Yeah. So I am not very fluent with Spanish, but with the help of translator, I can actually write
Excellent.
in Spanish. Yeah.
So that means vernacular. So if people want to write in Tamil or Telugu or Gujarati or whatever language they know, so there are big opportunity for them to expose their brand through
Yes,
Quora.
absolutely. Absolutely. In fact, there is a huge market for South Indian languages. And Quora is growing rapidly in these regional languages.
Yes, please, let's move on.
All right. So that's about platform, and we'll talk about platform as we advance through this
Sure.
session. But I would also like to talk about that building a personal brand is not just about platform, and it is not just about trying to get out of platform or trying to get things out of people. In fact, it is not at all that. It is, Avi, and you would agree that it is about value creation for
Yeah.
people. It is about personal connection with people, and it is about acting like a real human being, because that's what you are, and it's a personal brand. Until and unless you bring that personal touch, until and unless you are vulnerable with people, you're not going to build any personal connection. You are not a personal brand. You start becoming a corporate brand if there is no personal touch.
So sorry, Nithi, let me just pause there for a second. For everybody who's listening, I'm just want to break down what you just said. So to be personable and to be authentic, to be real, to be a real human being the way we are with others who we meet socially, we all want to help, we all want to create value. But जब भी हम सोशल मीडिया पे आते हैं हमको लगता है ये मार्केटिंग है, यहाँ तो सिर्फ मार्केटिंग करनी चाहिए और मार्केटिंग हमारे लिए मुश्किल है and to be real human beings is easy. But when we come to social media, it becomes difficult. Ulta. Marketing becomes easy and to become a real human being becomes difficult. So can you tell us a few examples of how you chose, when you write, how you become real? I liked your Instagram, your Quora bio. You started by, in a very casual format. So it just made me say that I want to read this person's profile instead of, So how does somebody become real online when they start?
Yeah. So Avi, and I highly talk about not just being real in when you're talking about personal brand. I also talk highly about, even when you're a corporate brand, you need to be really real, which means, like, when what happens with real people like us, we have ups and we have downs,
Yeah.
and we have a story going on, right? We do some stuff. We are when we are young, we have some aspirations. When we grow up, reality hits all of us. There is a phase when it's a difficult phase for all of us, whether there is always a storm, right? And we are always in different boats. The
Yeah.
storm can hit someone harder, can hit someone milder, but there are difficulties, and then we all somehow overcome those difficulties. So what I'm trying to say is, there is a story, there is a life story that's going on, and what your audience or what's your community wants to see is that real you.
Mm.
Your community wants to see that real story. And how does that real story comes? That's leveraging your own real story in reality. And of course, because you're trying to build a personal brand, a large part of that real story will be about your work, your profession, but it has to be a real story. How do you start with that? You leverage your own unique factors and your own journey, your own experience, how you got here where you are when you are building this community. You share that story with people, and that's how they get together and they start joining you in that journey.
Nidhi, I
And
wanted to
maybe you
ask you
can
a
do.
question here, and I'm sure many people in the audience have this question. और ये question मैं आपसे पूछना चाहता हूँ. A lot of people say, I have not got the level of success that most people have. So मैं क्या story सुनाऊं? Story तो होती है पहले मैं यहाँ था, मैं यहाँ पहुंच गया. बट मैं तो कहीं पहुंचा ही नहीं, बिकॉज हम बहुत सारे लोग अपनी अपने खुद के माइंड में कहीं नहीं पहुंचे होते. सो व्हाट वुड यू टेल दोस पीपल?
Absolutely. And I am giving this session today in a very retrospective manner, because when I started on Quora, I did not have any personal brand in mind. In 2014, when I started on Quora, there was no such story. I had no accolades at all. I was just a small town girl who just got intrigued by digital marketing, had a passion to learn about digital marketing. And I actually started writing about digital marketing, even though I was not an expert. I was mostly trying to figure out digital marketing for
Right.
myself. I used to do those experiments, I used to fail, and I used to write about them. And that really actually connected with people, that, oh, maybe we can also think like that and try something out like this. And when I started looking back at my answers after 2-3 years, when I also grew up professionally, I started to understand things better. I used to think, this is so amateurish.
Right.
Who writes like that? And I used to go back and edit those answers, because that was not my current best self.
Right.
So actually, you don't have to be perfect. You don't have to be, um, at the pinnacle of your career when you're trying to build that personal brand. Otherwise, there is no story.
Sure.
You know,
Otherwise there's
Elon
no
Musk,
story. Exactly.
yeah, Elon Musk has a very powerful story because of his ups and downs. If there is only up and up and up, no movie succeeds where you only have the graph going up.
I love that. आपने जो बोला ना, I really love that, because जब struggle खत्म हो जाती है तो story खत्म हो जाती है, picture खत्म, leave the theater,
Right?
go home. Nobody wants to go home. We want to watch the story. So if
Yeah.
you're struggling and if you're going through turmoil, if you're going through challenges, and you share how you're getting over those challenges, that is the story people.
Yeah, in fact, I'll share another example. A couple of years back, actually 3 years back, I picked up on a childhood hobby, which was painting. I was
Okay.
really horrible with painting. I am not a really creative kind of person. I'm a mix of creative and I think I tilt towards analytical mind, right? But I really wanted to learn art. So I actually converted my Instagram account to an art account, and I
Okay.
started painting all the horrible paintings that I used to make. But gradually, people started liking the experiments that I was trying to do, and they really started appreciating my journey of improvement. People started connecting with me. It's so meditative. Even I want to start. Even I wanted to do painting, during my childhood, but I couldn't ever do it. Now my life is so busy, and I want time for myself and I want to do something for myself. So I actually started to get a lot of comments, messages, etc., that I started doing live painting sessions
Oh,
on my Facebook fan page.
oh, interesting.
I never imagined that 5,000 people will follow me for my art. I am not even an artist. However,
Huh.
I call myself an artist because I'm a
Okay.
marketer at
Right.
heart. So I do that thing. But in the process of learning, so many people connected with my story because it was their story. They were
It was
living
their
that life
story.
with
Mhm.
me. So this is very compelling
They
that,
connected with your story because it was their story. Beautiful. I love
yes,
that.
yes. And it's even more powerful when you are not at the pinnacle of your career or the thing that you want to do. Start with the bottom, and you will build a far more stronger community when you're starting at the bottom,
Mm.
right? Because because people will get along with you on your journey and they will progress with you.
Lovely.
So
It
yeah, I
yeah.
think that's very important.
Another another gem. I haven't heard this. You know what she said in the in towards the end was, people will connect with you while you're climbing. You know, once you climb and you say I'm successful, you're still a good human being. You're still doing all the struggles. जितना आप ज्यादा successful होते हो तो ज्यादा struggle होती है. But when people see lots of success, थोड़ी सी judgment भी आ जाती है. But when you're climbing and you're at that same level as them, then it's easy to build the community because people start loving you and saying he or she is also going through the same struggle as I am. So yeah, so great point, very good point.
Yeah. So yeah, so I'll talk about, so that's what I talk about, right? Building that personal connection, not just when you're trying to build a personal brand, but also when you're trying to build a brand. More often than not, when we are trying to build a corporate brand, we just get so impersonal
Yeah.
that that you can't really connect with that brand. So anyways,
Marketing
we'll talk
language.
about.
I don't, you know, this is what I always tell people. Stop writing like you're writing the cover of a magazine article. You know, just talk about, that's why our hero introduction that we have here in the community is so personal. We talk about family, we talk about zodiac signs, kab paida hoye, kya hua, kahan fail hoye, all of those things. Nidhi, I wanted to ask you before we go ahead. Uh, so Quora is one platform that you can, based on your expertise, somebody's a photographer, somebody's a painter, somebody's, you know, like I say, your life has got own experiences as well. You know, you lived in a joint family of 24 people, 14 people, and now you can tell people how to get along in big families. Or you say, you were part of two failed startups, but you learned so much and you can teach people. So जिंदगी ने आपको जो भी तजुर्बा सिखाया आप उससे लोगों को सिखा सकते हो. And there are people, like for example the Nidhi of 2021 is going back and editing the articles of Nidhi from 2016, right? So therefore, and so we are all are we are another version of Nidhi. आगे जाके हम पीछे मुड़ के दूसरों को हेल्प कर सकते हैं. So I just want permission for all the entrepreneurs over here through Nidhi to say, everybody, regardless of how many years of experience, regardless of how many degrees you have posted on your wall, you can still go to Quora and answer questions and establish yourself as a brand, as someone who's adding value in one particular field. But please tell our audience, we all know our niches over here. In fact, we work very hard with this audience to find out our sub niche. What is our expert, you know, that extra, this thing that we're an expert at. So how do I go to Quora? Can you give us me like 2, 3, 4 steps on how do I go and get started? I go and set up my account, and then I go and look for a topic that I want to talk about, and then I go and answer questions. Can you just give a step by step breakdown
Sure,
so people
sure.
who've never done it would love it?
Yeah, I mean, pretty simple. You go and sign up. Rule number one, when you are creating an account, please create a proper account. What do I mean is, properly fill in all your details. I almost always decline a request or a follow or a connection from someone who does not have a picture or a real name. So always have proper bio
Right.
uh, that defines you. I had a standard bio that I recently edited to say that I'm publishing weekly marketing videos because I started doing that on my YouTube channel, and right now my primary focus is YouTube. So have a relevant bio, have a very nice personal introduction. My personal introduction keeps evolving based on what my focus is.
Of course.
Right now, my entire focus is on YouTube, and you will see a number of things that I talk about um, are all about YouTube. And then have a introduction, a powerful introduction. What I mean when I say powerful introduction does not mean that you need to have a lot of accolades like we were discussing. What you need to have is a real story. When you are starting, start with that real story. Who you are, what do you do? If you don't have anything to talk about professionally, talk about things like what are your interests. Maybe you have a cat or a dog and you love
Right.
them, talk about them. Maybe you are in a lockdown and you have a window garden, talk about
Mm.
how passionate you are about gardening, right? So talk about these things and then just start exploring the platform. You don't have to just get into building personal brand, right? More often than not, you would want to share some kind of personal experience that either you are living. For example, if you are in lockdown and you are having a window garden, you might want to talk about that because that's the thing that lights you up in the day, right?
Yeah.
You would want to talk about that. Write about that. Write about your personal stories. You're not trying to create a blog post here, right? You're not publishing news. It's not LinkedIn, where you have to talk about professional life. There are no boundaries. Share your real personal story. It can be about your cat, dog, something that happened to you recently, anything. Just start. There are umpteen number of questions, and Quora gives you that flexibility wherein you can ask question on your own and answer it,
Hmm.
right? So that's super amazing that you can ask a question and then answer it. So Quora really appreciates it. And then Quora has a policy called as BNBR. Whenever there is a community, the community has uh, some ground rules. In this case, in Quora, we have something called as be nice, be respectful. So
Okay.
when you are dealing in a platform, just make sure that you are aware about the norms of the platform. Like on most platforms, if you're talking about politics these days, it might not be taken in a great sense, and you
Right.
might get blocked or the post might get deleted. Similarly, in Quora, we have something called as be nice, be respectful. So if you are attacking someone on one-on-one, which is very unlike other platforms. On Twitter, you can always attack someone. I think the mostly that's what people are doing. But in Quora, you can't do that because there is something called as be nice, be respectful, and under that, you will get blocked. So just be aware of the platform's ground rule
Hmm.
and just share your
Vidya
experience.
says there are two questions. How do we monetize and make money out of this platform? And the second is, should I write my own question and answer it?
Absolutely. Second question. Yes, absolutely. Ask your own question and answer it.
Okay.
Making money, Quora introduced something called as Quora Partner Program. At one point in time, it was only available to certain power users. Then they opened it for the market. Um, you know, I was under Quora Partner Program. Uh, During the early days, it was really easy to make money. I even made, I think, over a lakh or something
Nice.
through the partner programs, because when you're asking valuable questions, they used to give you some credit because of that valuable question. Um, but I don't think that it is as impactful today. In fact, the money that you make through Quora Partner Program is very, very less. They are intending to roll out, some other mechanism to monetize your platform. One of which I said is Quora Spaces,
Hmm.
right? Um, there are speculations, something like Reddit, where you can monetize your platform like Reddit. Something that like that is in a speculation. And the other most lucrative way of making money out of Quora is to run ads and sell your product,
Ah,
and you get ROI out of that.
interesting. Interesting. I
Yeah.
like. Should I? Yeah. So Vidya says I'm passionate about technology, life coaching, NLP, and spirituality. Can I talk about everything or should I just stick to my micro niche?
Yeah. So I would say when you're starting, when you're, just warming up, do whatever you want to do,
Hmm.
right? When you're just warming up, because if you go with a lot of cognitive load that, oh no, I want to do this, I want to do that, then you will not be able to hone your writing skills,
Got it.
right? If you are already a professional and you know your stuff very well, then of course be very focused, be very super focused, because any platform which is discovery enabled, which means wherever you can do SEO, whether it is YouTube, whether it is Quora, whether it is Medium or Google, these platforms love sharp focus when you're starting.
Right.
When you have just created your YouTube channel or your Quora profile, be very sharp focused. When I started writing back in 2014, when there was very less competition, I was writing on a broad topic like digital marketing,
Hmm.
right? And that was sharp focus back then. But today, when you're trying to make your brand, digital marketing is a broad topic, because a lot of content is already there.
Yeah.
Maybe you want to pick something like um, growth strategies, link building, PPC. Be specific. So again, getting back to Amazon example, sell books first. Once you have, uh, cracked the code of selling books to millions of people, or maybe thousands of people, then start selling other things.
Got it.
Similarly, then start writing other things. Then people will read anything that's coming from you.
Perfect. Love that. One says, how often do you get invitation from QPP and what is the criteria for that?
This was years back when I had first got invitation. I think today you can actually apply through a link for Quora partner program. And if you have been a nice kid on Quora, then you might easily get your account approved.
Okay. So that means if you've been adding value to other people's lives.
Yeah, and you are not breaking the BNBR code.
Yeah. So there are two questions I picked up from here. One is there a way to to convert Quora content for YouTube? Like create content here and make that for YouTube? And can you talk a little bit about Quora Spaces?
Absolutely, nobody can stop you from repurposing your own content. So the answer is yes, definitely go ahead and repurpose your content. That's a great way to utilize your time and efforts. And what's the next question? I'm sorry.
Quora Spaces.
Quora Spaces is very similar to Facebook groups.
Okay.
You build a space, you add topics to that space. I run, and I'll share my screen so that people can see again. Can you see my screen?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, so I have, this is Digital Marketing. This is the name of my YouTube channel, as well as I have kept the same name across platforms. I have a Facebook group, I have a Quora space on the same name. About 75,000 people follow this space.
Nice.
And for some reason, internet is acting out.
No
Okay,
problem.
so
We'll
yeah,
come back.
yeah, it's very similar to any group or any community you build. You create the space, add the topic, start posting. Quora, initially when they launched space, they had two options. One, you post, you create native post on the space. Two, you can publish links. I think initially when they were, and I have been for a really long time on Quora, and I know that a lot of platforms do that. Initially, they start a product with really easy entry points.
Right.
So earlier, you were able to share a lot of links on Quora Spaces, because not everybody is interested in creating native content. So people used to share a lot of links. So Quora Spaces picked up, and now they have a kind of uh, they took away the feature of just posting link. Now you need to publish native content, which means you need to create unique post out here. And yeah, this is a way through which you um, get connected on one specific topic.
Got it. Nikunj Agarwal says people say that you can get details of trending topics from Quora and also get to know what are the questions people are asking in your niche, and you can plan your social media accordingly. How do you search these questions?
Just like any other search, you go on search bar and type the topic that you're looking for. For instance, if you're looking to know more about digital marketing, you go in search, type digital marketing. If you have a long tail keyword, which means you already know the question around which you want to create content or know the trending stuff, you go and type about what's trending in digital marketing, how to hire a digital marketing team and stuff like that. So the search will give you all the questions around a
Can we ask you,
specific.
because this is a very basic question, but a lot of people have a problem with it. Can you show us a demo of this?
Yeah, sure.
Awesome.
Tell me a topic that you guys would want me to search for. So, okay, I am here looking for a long tail keyword called as what is digital marketing. Okay, and now um, maybe I am someone who is trying to sell digital marketing related course. Now, think about it like this. Who would want to take a digital marketing course? I'm selling a basic course in digital marketing. My audience would be someone who is not aware about digital marketing, and they are looking for keywords like what is digital marketing. So I search in the search bar what is digital marketing. I see all these questions. Now I will go through all these questions. Maybe I'll press control and I'll start clicking on these links, and I'll open these links side by side, and I'll go through and see which questions have, wow, so this question has 1.1k followers, right? I'll write my answer in here so that I get discovered when people are trying to know what is digital marketing. So I'll write about what is digital marketing. And perhaps I can also talk about how I have created a course that gives more information on what exactly is digital marketing. And then you need to be really mindful that if you're just trying to juice out through the platform, of course platform is going to discourage such answers, so you need to be very organic when you are doing that.
Got it. All right. Other questions coming up?
So in fact, all the questions on this thread are having high followership, which means a lot of people are already interested in this question.
Hmm. Thank you,
And you
Nikunj.
see, Quora also has, I was talking about Quora monetization, and we discussed that you can even run ads if you have a product. So if you have a digital marketing course, definitely check out what kind of bids you are seeing for digital marketing and run ads. You can do targeting based on questions. You can do targeting based on interest. You can do targeting based on topics. So yeah, a lot of options. You can even do remarketing. If you have an app, you can do app installs campaigns as well.
Like Nidhi said, 2014 was the right time to start. And now I think after 2021 is right now. For all of us, we had a bulb on moment. Oh my God, Quora is also as important. Imagine if we discovered this platform 2 years later or 2 years later than that. Jab, jab jago tab savera. So I think let's start doing it. If people want to get in touch with you, what is the best way for them to get in touch with you? Instagram DM?
They can get in touch with me on LinkedIn,
Okay.
or they can also drop me a message on Quora
Okay.
and even
Perfect.
Instagram. Even
Perfect.
Instagram has others folder.
Right. Perfect.
Yeah.
That sounds good. Nidhi, thank you so much for your time and
Thank
really,
you
really
so much,
appreciate it.
Abhi. It was really fun. You made it really engaging.